G'day, I'm Mel Lathouras. This is the Fearless Singer podcast, now for the first time on video, because there might be things that I demonstrate and you go, yeah, I want to see what she's actually doing. So if you want to watch me as opposed to just listening to this on Spotify or Apple or on my website, you can come over to YouTube/Fearless Singer to watch this. I'll also be posting this on my Facebook page, which is Mel Lathouras. Lathouras. And today I'm really excited because I'm talking about things that I'm really passionate about, that I know is going to help so many other wonderful singers. And I'm going to talk about two things. The primary one is emotional freedom technique. I know I bang on and on and on and on about this modality, but I bloody love it and it's life-changing. And when I say life-changing, I'm not blowing smoke in anyone's ears. Literally, on a very subtle level, it has changed certain aspects of, who I am to become the person that I am today. And I will divulge stories over the course of these podcasts, things that come up, just to let you know. Like, it's helped me reframe my relationship with everything. My body, my voice, my friends, my family, different stories that I was telling about myself. Emotional freedom technique, really does have the power to shift those perceptions that may not be serving us to get us to where we want to be or who we want to become. And I'll talk more about that. And I also want to talk about quantum energetics. And I know that it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm going to talk about it and explain, I guess, my understanding of it, and again, how we can apply it as singers. Again, it's a very powerful way of thinking of how goals work, So if you want to even just bring it back to just a very, non-spiritual layer, and it is really just a way of reframing how, when we set an intention, a goal, how we can make that come to us, even a lot quicker through this new belief system. And really, it's a way of, again, rewiring the subconscious mind to attract us to the opportunities that we need to do the things that we want to do. So quickly on that note, on quantum energetics, do you remember Quantum Leap, my fellow 90s kids? It was such a great show, and they're actually rebooting it, which I'm really excited about. So Quantum Leap was this guy that used to jump into different, parallel universes and play out different scenarios. And I can't ever remember the intention of why, but he just did, and I loved watching it. It was brilliant. I watched it as a kid. So quantum energetics is a similar, I guess, understanding. It's the belief that we're all energy. I totally agree with that. We're just all, vibrating atoms, and that there is this metaverse, so our universe, metaverse, and there are different versions of who we are playing out. And if we want something to happen, so bringing it back to the context of the singer, say for instance, you have this beautiful voice, you've been told for many years, you've got this gorgeous voice, you've learned all these bloody songs, you've got this at least 2 to 3 hours, of repertoire to do a gig. You may have a whole catalogue of your own music, but there is something that's stopping you from getting on a stage and sharing that with an audience. It could be just very practical things like, I don't know any other musicians to jam with, yada, yada, yada. So many things, okay? So there is a version of you somewhere in the particles, which in this belief system they call frequency. There's a frequency where you exist, where you are already sharing that beauty, your beautiful voice, your beautiful songs with audiences. And whether it's here locally, wherever you are, or whether it's around the world, whatever you dream, there it is. It's actually playing out. And so the idea is that we go, okay, well, that version of me, it's like finding it. So finding it in the frequency. It's like we're almost like, I don't know, we're walking down this corridor and there's all these different rooms. And in those rooms is a big screen where this is playing out like a movie. And we like peer in and we go, okay, is this me? Is this me? Where I'm performing on stage, I'm traveling all around the world performing. And then you go in and you go, yes, oh yay, I'm here, this is me. And you're watching this person, however you identify. I'm just going to say, use the pronoun she, because I identify as a she. So I'm going through the Mel rooms and I'm watching myself, this singer, this beautiful singer who's traveling all around the world. Oh, she appears very, very confident. Oh, she's sharing a lot about her different stories. So she's holding a lot of space here to be vulnerable. She's working with some amazing musicians. Holy moly. Oh, the sound is tight. It's so delicious. Oh, look at the faces on the audience. They are all so captivated and they look like they're really content and happy and, whatever it is, so you're watching this play out. And then you go, okay, well, these are the qualities that I need to now start to try on here in the present. So she looked confident. She looked content. She was really in alignment with her purpose and her service. She was, quite vulnerable. She was sharing some really, some deep stuff, and she didn't seem to be too afraid of doing that and being judged. And she was working with some really brilliant people. Oh, so she must really honor herself as a musician, to be working with such incredible musicians. So those are the qualities. And then the idea is that you try them on. How does that feel? How would I be? How would I act if I had all these qualities? Yeah, and then, and keep that character going for as long as you can. And I know tension will arise. I love this idea of tension or contrast, you might hear about it, where it kind of like snaps you back into your kind of past self. It's really just it's your prefrontal and it's a combination of both. Your prefrontal is kind of freaking out. It's going, danger. You're not familiar. And your subconscious is freaking out going, no, get them back into the familiar. Get them back into the familiar. That will come up and that's okay. That's just a reminder to go, ooh, I'm just going to keep playing with this character and see what happens, even through the tension, through that feeling of discomfort. Just keep showing up as that version of yourself. And then, oh my bloody God, watch how then things just start to unravel for you. You'll have a chance encounter with somebody that is a fellow musician, maybe a guitarist or a piano player or, another instrumentalist that loves your vibe and goes, oh, I'm so excited about your music. Let's jam on that. Or you might start going to a jam night and then meet again other fellow musicians, and then things start to sort of take shape. Then you might get, I don't know, this chance kind of opportunity to go and perform a couple of your songs somewhere. Someone goes, hey, I heard that you're a singer. Come and sing at my venue. Or, hey, we need someone to fill in to support us for this night. Are you free? And then suddenly you've got the repertoire, you've got the band around you because it's all being created for you. And you've done that through this beautiful game. It's like you're playing with these universal frequencies to make this happen. And again, if you don't believe in that kind of that frame, that angle, that's okay, because your subconscious mind is super powerful. Yeah, your subconscious mind, you start to tell yourself that you're safe when those little moments of tension come up, and you work on releasing that those feelings of shame or guilt or whatever is prompting that feeling of tension, or that maybe it's a belief that you're not good enough. You start being curious about those things and then reframing it. Your subconscious mind will start to take on the new belief that you are this confident, empathetic, service orientated, whatever it is, the version of you that you need to be to do the things that you want to do, your subconscious mind will start going, oh, that's who that person is, and will make you feel a little bit safer, in those moments that come up, with opportunities or maybe setbacks, that kind of thing. So whatever way you want to see it, it works. Yeah. So quantum energetics, have a look into it. It's really exciting stuff. Some people that you might want to check out. Joe Dispenza seems to be the father of this work. He didn't create it. You might even want to look at Abraham Hicks. You might want to look at who else really is a proponent of this. Oh, I just started following a lady called P on Instagram. I think. Oh, let me just quickly look her up. Where is she? Well, I should say they. I don't think they. Oh, P the Fairy. P the Fairy, at P the Fairy on Instagram. I love the way that they teach this work. It's honestly, it's so inspiring, and it just, makes you feel like, oh, anything is possible. And really, the whole point of this episode is just to realize that anything is possible. It's really up to you and that beautiful imagination of yours. Now, segueing into EFT, how can emotional freedom technique help us be able to, find this frequency, identify these qualities that we want, and help our nervous system feel safe in trying them on, and playing with this character. So emotional freedom technique, EFT, or tapping, you might hear it referred to, is basically a process of affirming what is happening, what's coming up for you, that moment of tension, that belief, that contrast. Could be a setback, could be just like, I just feel like a piece of shit. Whatever it is that comes up for you, you're going to affirm that and say, this is what's happening. It's almost like verbal journaling. It's the same thing. And while you're doing that, you are tapping on the different points on our body that are connected to our meridian. So our meridian is our energetic body. And if you've ever done acupuncture or acupressure, there we go. Sometimes I struggle with the English language. If you've ever done that, or if you've been to a nutritionist that particularly is connected more to Eastern Chinese medicine, well, then you may be familiar with this idea of our energy body. So the belief is that actually before things manifest in our body physically, they actually manifest first in our energy body. And we can actually clear those things. We can clear them before they get to our body and we start, experiencing an ailment. Yeah. So we can also use this. We can use this to alleviate pain. We can use it to alleviate stress. We can use this to reframe a situation that's not serving us or a belief. We can use it to bring in those things that we want to see in our life, whether it's more financial abundance, more abundance in terms of wealth, or more connection with friends and family, whatever it is that you want. This will help you bring it in. Because essentially the way it works is it's a pattern interrupter. So more often than not, we are literally, we are 100%. We're just a culmination of perception of stories that we've picked up from childhood, adulthood. It's all happening in our mind. And what this does, if we get into like a particular loop around something that's, again, like I said, not serving us, this kind of is like a gentle way of going, water bottle, to kind of slap you out of it. Sorry, I just slapped the microphone. Sorry about that. It's kind of like so that you can go, whoa, okay, yep, thank you. I needed that moment of whoa to get out of it. And then you assert the things that you want. What is it that you desire? Those character traits of that version of us playing out, in a different frequency. And we can also start by even just being curious about these beliefs in that process. So it could be more like actually, that's not 100% correct because of this and this. Or actually somebody told me that, they really enjoy my voice, singing voice, and maybe I could start learning to also enjoy my singing voice by listening to myself back. So it doesn't have to be straight away when you're starting to affirm those things that you want. It doesn't have to be like straight to, I'm like Lizzo, and, I'm so confident in my body, when it's like, actually, I still have to work towards that. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. Probably doesn't. So I'm going to show you specifically and contextually what this could look like. So we start by affirming what it is. What's the belief that came up? Maybe the belief is, look, I'd love to be a performer. I'd love to be on stage, but I don't think I'm good enough. I'm not good enough. Yeah. So not enough. That is the belief that is in your system. Now we're going to address that. So we start on this karate chop point and we assert that 3 times, but we put it in like a little bit of a sentence structure of, even though I don't think I'm good enough to perform live, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So we always say, even though this is the case, I still love myself and I accept myself. If love feels too strong, just say, I accept this in this moment. Yeah. So we do that 3 times. You say that 3 times. Yeah. By the way, before you even start this, when you discover this belief, on a scale of 1 to 10, tell yourself, like, how big is this emotional charge for me? Like, how sad or angry or whatever the emotion is do I feel? So, or stuck or whatever it is. So it could be like, actually, no, you know what? I'm at 11. I'm really super anxious, even about the idea of performing, and I'm not good enough. And I'm like, it's 11. And so when we do this process, the whole idea is we want that scale to drop down, that emotional charge to drop after the first round. So then we continue to tap on this particular issue of not being good enough. And you can repeat this, like this statement, if this is something that comes up. You can also just talk it out, like the way you talk to a therapist, or like I said before, journaling. So it could be, oh, look, I don't even know where to start. Like, how do I even get a gig? How do I even find another musician who wants to work with me? And 2, I'm not good enough. I'm not professional. I've got all these beautiful songs. I love them, but actually I don't know if anyone else is going to love them. I think it's just me. And again, I'm not good enough. I haven't sung before in front of other people in my entire life. In fact, the thought of singing in front of other people fills me with so much anxiety. In fact, I am super bloody anxious right now. And then you keep continuing the conversation again while you're tapping on these different points, which I'm showing you right now. Collarbone, under the arm. Not all EFT practitioners use this point. Gala Darling does. I love her. And it also does feel like, oh yeah, I do feel a connection here on the wrist. And then top of the head. As you're asserting the situation, what's happening now. Noticing I'm not saying the word negative. I hate this polarizing positive, negative. There's no such thing. There is feelings and emotions on different scales But once we start to recognize that actually those moments of tension and contrast that come up in our life, once we start to reframe them as like, actually, that's life and I'm going to embrace them, those feelings, then those emotions such as shame and, well, actually, let's just call it that, shame and, judgment, tend to dissipate, and we just give ourselves an easier time in this time and space continuum. Yeah. So we're asserting what's happening. And then you take a deep breath after you've finished. So you'll be top of the head. Take a deep breath. And then check in with yourself on the scale. Has it moved down a bit? If the emotional charge is still feeling quite high, you just keep tapping on that. And then you then reframe it. So you either start to question some of those beliefs or that narrative, or you just completely start to say, well, actually, no, I think I am good enough. Whatever it is that comes up. It could even just be things like, I'm open to seeing a different perception on this matter. I'm open to at least, meeting somebody that may be able to help me in this journey, in this process. And actually, you know what? I have sung in front of other people before. I've sung in front of close friends and family, and they've only said nice things about my voice. And if that's not true, if you've got family that haven't been like that or friends, you can say something in terms of, well, maybe you had someone, it could have been a teacher, or somebody has said something kind to you. Or it could even just be like, you know what, if I haven't sung in front of somebody, I should just at least find someone I trust that I can perform these to, and to just to get a little bit of support around this issue or this, Sorry, somebody has turned up and I forgot. And I'm doing this podcast, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going. And then you take a deep breath, and then you again assess how you're feeling now. And the goal is that you have this lovely feeling of expansiveness. You just feel less attached to that story before of not being good enough. You don't have that same emotional charge. It doesn't feel 100% true anymore. That's what you're aiming for. And then you just watch as things start to take place. It's like you're clearing out those, you're clearing out the drain. You're clearing out your vessel, so that the universe can then work through you to create those chance encounters with people that you can collaborate with different opportunities that will allow you then to step on the stage. Maybe you'll find a mentor, that really believes in you and helps you get to that next stage. It will happen. So that's emotional freedom technique. I'm going to be talking again more and more about it and how, again, we can use it for specific situations, and also talking more about this idea of the quantum energetics as well. So this week, things that I would love for you just to be curious about. Check out emotional freedom technique online. One of the great teachers in that is Brad Yates. I love him. He's so adorable. He's just so kind. He's like, just go and watch him. Gala Darling, she's 100% that bish. She is amazing. Please check her out too. The Ortners are fabulous as well. They've got a lot of resources that aren't terribly expensive either. They're quite affordable, and there's a lot of free resources. Brad Yates has a gazillion videos on YouTube that you can benefit from straight away. So yeah, be curious about EFT and see how you can start to use it to help you get to the places that you want as a singer, as a creative musician, and also start to think about this idea of taking on a different personality to get to where you want to be as well. And if there anything in this resonated with you, please let me know. I love to hear from you. I love hearing from you. I really do. That looked a bit desperate. I'm sorry. But But I do. So you can send me an email. I'm at hello@fearlesssinger.com. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm at Mel Lathouras. So you can send me a DM on that, or at Facebook, Mel Lathouras. You can leave comments here on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. And yeah, let me know what hit for you. Like what was like, yeah. Or let me know if you've done these practices before and you've created some incredible things. I love that because it's so inspiring. You're inspiring me and you're inspiring anyone that will come across it. Okay, that's that. I'll talk to you soon. Lots of love. That kiss seemed a bit aggressive. That's better. There we go. It's like a little bit of a I love you hard moment. All right. Excuse me, I nearly forgot to tell you, I'm actually teaching emotional freedom technique for singers, sing with confidence and live them dreams, a 2-hour interactive online workshop. It's on April 3rd, so Monday evening, 7:30. Did I say it goes for 2 hours? And where you'll learn the ins and outs of emotional freedom technique and how we can apply it for singing. And yeah, so that we can sing with our full potential and confidence and start to actually bring those dreams into our reality. So using these techniques and principles, it's going to be so much fun. And it's also 3 days before full moon. So a good time to be setting some beautiful intentions. Anyway, I hope to see you. I've got the link below.